All right, we welcome Coach Oats to the stage and congratulate Alabama on its win yesterday. A couple of the standard reminders: please silence your cell phone. Please, if you have a question, mention your name and media affiliation. Raise your hand and we'll get a microphone to you. If you're joining via Zoom, please use the raise hand function for questions and we'll get to you as time allows. Recording press conferences on cell phones or cameras in this area is not prohibited, so please refrain from that, but you can download video, audio, and transcripts from ASAP as soon as this is finished. And we will go ahead and take a quick overview from Coach, and then we'll open it up for questions. Coach?
Yeah, we're excited to still be playing the second round. We don't take it for granted. I thought our defense was good for large stretches against Charleston. It's going to have to be even better against Grand Canyon. You know, it's the first time I really looked at them was watching the St. Mary's game last night. They've got a high major roster. I mean, they've got more athleticism than a lot of high major teams. So, you know, Coach Drew's done a great job. They obviously got a lot of support from their administration with how they're running their program. You know, there's a reason they've been winning multiple WAC titles since Coach Drew's got there. He was in our league in the SEC for a while. He knows what SEC talent looks like, and he's got some SEC talent on that roster. So, you know, they're one of the best rim protecting teams in the country. You know, they turn people over a lot. They play hard. They like to get up and down. Hopefully they still like to get up and down. Our guys obviously like to play a little up and down, as evidenced by the 109 points or whatever we had last game out. So I don't know if this will be first to 100 again or not, but should be for an entertaining game because they've got athletes. We like to get up and down. They've got some big time scorers, you know, and there's going to be some plays. There's guessing there'll be quite a few highlight reel plays on both sides. Hopefully we can limit their highlight reel players, but I think we both had a nice little underneath out of bounds alley-oop that looked a lot different than what I would finish back when I played. So we're looking forward to playing them, but they're good. We're going to have to really guard, and we're going to have to keep them out of the paint. So, but I think, you know, for the most part, we're healthy. Latrell's, you know, if you saw how much he was bleeding with the nose injury, you know, we kind of let him rest in the hotel rather than doing a shoot around just to try to get some of the swelling to go down a little bit. But I think he should be good to go for tomorrow. But other than that, we're pretty healthy and ready to go. Really healthy for this time of the year.
Questions for Coach?
Richard Obert, Arizona Republic. Like you said, what they did against St. Mary's was incredible. Their athleticism, being able to block shots, steal the ball. And this is going to be a totally different style, the way you play than St. Mary's. So do you feel that's going to be an advantage, or how can you make that an advantage for your team?
Yeah, St. Mary's are a really good team. I mean, you know, they won a really good league. They're tough, they're physical, and I thought Grand Canyon out-physicaled St. Mary's, to be honest with you. And now we played against some of the toughest, most physical teams in the country in our league. You know, I think Tennessee's right at the top of that list. Mississippi State's very tough, physical. I think Florida did a good job being physical with us. You know, and those have been some of the games we struggled with, but we've also done well. Like Mississippi State, very tough, physical. We've been able to beat them twice. Tennessee beat us twice. You know, Florida, we, you know, beat them once, lost twice. So Auburn, we split with. They're pretty tough, physical. So we've played some tough, physical, athletic teams in our league. I think it's prepared us for a game like this. I think, I mean, I would have thought maybe St. Mary's slow pace would have caused problems with Grand Canyon. It didn't so much. You know, I'm not sure how deep Grand Canyon is. They play about 7 guys a majority of the minutes. So I would hope playing, you know, second game in 2 days, you know, we can get out and run on them a little bit. Our front court's pretty deep. I think, we got to keep our guards as fresh as they can to keep the pace up. But I would hope it would be an advantage with us. But shoot, they're pretty athletic and like to run too. So, I don't think they're a team that's going to try to bridle their thoroughbreds and rein them in. I'm not Coach Drew, but I think he recruited athletes to play athletic. So my guess would be they're going to let their athletes play athletic, and my guess would be this be a game that's pretty up tempo.
Julian Mitchell, WVTM 13 in Birmingham. Coach, you've talked about, especially on the defensive end, maybe some misses affecting things on that end of the floor. With this team, the crowd that's going to come in here supporting this team, how do you keep, and what's been the message to keeping that confidence, that mentality up, makes misses on both ends of the floor when this could get away from you with this crowd coming in?
That's a good question. Grand Canyon's done a great job getting their students up here and having a big crowd. And we're out here on the West Coast, and their administration's done a really good job. Whatever method they have of emphasizing getting the crowds here, they shoot. We're gonna kind of have a road game. It seems like at least with their crowd they had last night. So good thing is we've played a lot of tough road games, and now we don't always do it. What we tell our guys, like, the scoreboard is irrelevant to how hard we should be playing. It's really a distraction. Well, the crowd should be a distraction too. Like, just focus on what's going on in the 94 by 52 right here and what we're doing. If the crowd's into it, great. If they're not into it, great. Whether there's 15,000 people in Coleman or whether we're in a practice where nobody but us is in the gym, it should have zero effect on your effort. Now, we're human, and sometimes that doesn't happen, but we're going to try to – if you don't turn the ball over and give them a bunch of highlight reel plays going the other way, I think you can – I don't know that you're going to totally keep the crowd out of it, but you can keep them down. I mean, the crowd gets amped with these highlight reel plays. Now, a lot of their highlight reel plays are an opponent's mistake, whether it's a turnover leading to a dunk, whether it's a – big-time block shot on a shot you shouldn't have taken, whether, we got to do a good job of playing sound, fundamental, solid, tough, gritty basketball, which I think will keep the crowd down a little bit. But, it's college basketball. I like having a crowd. So whether it's an away crowd, a home crowd, there's pack the place full and let's play in front of a bunch of people. I think the band, the crowd, the student section, I mean, it's a better crowd than professional sports, and I think it's what makes one of the things that makes college basketball. So I'm looking forward to having a good crowd in here tomorrow.
Hey, Coach. Matt Cohen at AL.com. I know you talked yesterday about kind of it taking guard play to win in March, and you guys have that. But I wanted to kind of ask further about that because obviously, the mold of most national champions in the past 20 years has been kind of a top 20 offense, top 40 defense. You have the offense, maybe not the defense there, but can this team break that mold and kind of make a run? We
had it for 30 minutes last night. I'm hoping that the sense of urgency that should come with an elimination tournament brings on the type of effort that would be a top 40 defense. So we haven't been there like we needed to for too many times this year, so it's not going to climb into the top 40. You can't move the needle that much in one game when you're comparing it to 34, 35, 36, whatever games we end up playing here. So we're not going to get into the top 40 over the year, but I think we can be a top 40 defense for a however many game stretch here. Hopefully it's 5 more games if we can keep this thing going. If we can have the number 1 offense in the country and a top 30 or 40 defense, we have a chance to make a deep run. I thought we had a top 30 or 40 defense for about 30 minutes. I do realize it's human nature that when you get up 31 and, your guys think the game's over, they relax a little bit. I wish we hadn't done that because I think we really could have pitched a really great defensive game if we just stuck with it after we got up 31 to close the game out with. I don't think we're going to get up 31 on Grand Canyon, and they got too many athletes. They're a really good team. Charleston was a good team too, but Grand Canyon's level of athleticism is a lot different. So whatever the score is, they hit a bunch of tough shots and we're down. We make a bunch of nice plays and get up. It shouldn't have any effect on how hard we play. But I think, like you said, top 20 offense, top 40 defense. My prayer is, my hope is that we can show it with this elimination tournament. The sense of urgency brings that type of effort on.
Tim Booth from the AP. Nate, I'm wondering if the way the rules are now with transfer portal and NIL, it's, in your opinion, it's easier to become an emerging program and jump up the way maybe Grand Canyon has these last couple of years versus maybe the kind of program building you had to do when you were at Buffalo before you got to Alabama. Do you feel like that's the case now, that you could see more programs like Grand Canyon sort of emerging from the smaller mid-major kind of conferences as we move forward?
I think it's a good question. I think you're right on. If you've got an administration, a donor base that wants to contribute heavily to your collectives, and you're able to go, I think technically it's not supposed to be involved in recruiting. I think we all know how that works. If you can put together a strong NIL collective, it makes recruiting a lot easier. So it's a lot easier to elevate a program quickly if you've got the support behind the program than it was. I mean, I don't feel like I've been at this level very long. This is my 5th year at Alabama. I was only 4 years as a head coach at Buffalo and 2 years as an assistant, so I haven't been in Division I very long, 11 years now. But even if you go back, 7, 8, 9 years ago, like when I was building Buffalo, I mean, you had to get a high school kid. We ended up being 14th in the country at Buffalo and won some high major games, but we had to. I don't want to totally say get lucky, but you had to kind of hit on some high school kids that everybody else missed on, didn't think they were good enough. And now, if you're at a place like a Grand Canyon, some of these kids are coming back from some really good programs. I mean, they got some transfers from, it's not like these programs missed on them. They just went somewhere and they had an NBA player playing in front of them and they couldn't get enough minutes and want to play, and now they're going to come back down, and now they're looking like they belonged at the high major school that they went to initially. So I do, and it's a lot easier to do that recruitment with some of the resources that may, and I don't know, look, Grand Canyon looks like they've got, we played down there when I was an assistant at Buffalo. Crowd was great. Facilities were great. You could tell they're investing in trying to build this program, and they hired Bryce Drews, a high major head coach that knows what he's doing. This program is definitely on the rise. They won a tournament game. They've made multiple NCAA tournaments, and they've done, between the administration and everybody involved around that program, they've done a great job raising it in a hurry over there.
Ben Rabb, Yale Daily News. Coach, I saw you go to the Yale locker room after their game the other day. Can you talk about what you said to those guys in there?
I think Yale's won 2 NCAA tournament games in the history of Yale basketball, correct? So their first tournament game that they won was over Baylor in Providence. Is that accurate? I was there. We played right after them. That was my first NCAA tournament game in Buffalo. So I was obviously happy for Coach Jones then. So now we're back in the same building. We play right after them. They got their second win. So look, I don't know where they're going to get sent next year. But if they could, maybe convince the committee, if they're fortunate enough to make the tournament, to send Alabama, to play right behind them, they're 2-0 with Coach Oats following up behind them in the tournament. And we took a kid, Jordan Bruner. You can't be a grad transfer and play in the Ivy League. So Jordan graduated, had one more year left, came. That was our second year at Alabama. First time we won the SEC regular season tournament, went to the Sweet 16. Jordan was our starting center. I had known Coach Jones before that. Obviously, we played in Providence together and just through the business, but he was great with Bruner's recruitment, kind of talk. So I got to know him a lot better. It had nothing to do with the fact they beat Auburn. I know everybody wants to make that out to be like, not like, I actually, you want your league to do well. Looks a lot better for us if our league does really well. It was just, I've known Coach Jones, a lot of respect for him. I was at Buffalo as a 13 seed playing Arizona. I know the feeling in that locker room. I just wanted to go there. It was not, I didn't talk to their team or anything. I just congratulated Coach Jones, who's, by the way, an unbelievable coach. I mean, he's done great work at Yale for a long time. Like, he's a great coach and a good friend in the business. I just want to congratulate James on a win.
Hi, Coach. Gianna Cephalou, Clue TV. I wanted to ask about the impact Mark Sears has had on your program, and obviously his mother, too, is a big proponent and cheerleader for him in the stands as well. Just get your thoughts on that.
She's got a lot of energy, that's for sure. Yeah, she's telling me she's getting, I don't ever see her. I'm focused on the game. When I go back and look at the TV replay after the game, she's telling me she's getting more into it on defense. So, maybe it's like some synergy between the two of them. Like, he gets in a better stance if she gets in a better stance on the defensive end. So she's got a lot of energy. We need Mark playing with the same energy she's cheering with. I think he's been pretty good here lately. I thought his defense was great yesterday. Look, Mark's leading us in scoring. He's second-team All-American. He's first-team All-SEC. He's a really good player. Their family's from the state of Alabama. He's the one kid we got on this team from the state of Alabama. She's been following Alabama basketball for a long time before Mark was even there. Now her son's, one of the best players in the country, playing for the in-state team. It's a good story. I'm glad that she's having a bunch of fun, and hopefully she continues to have a lot of fun for a couple more weeks here. And I'm all for her bringing her energy to the gym every game.
Coach D. Jackson, CBS 42 in Birmingham. You touched on something about human emotion earlier. Unfortunately, yesterday we had some human emotion that cost a team possibly a loss yesterday with the player being ejected. At this point in the tournament, is there a time where you talk to your kids about how important staying emotionally fit, how important that is for your team to advance?
Yeah, for sure. We've had some issues like that in the past too. Guys make an emotional, knee-jerk reaction decision that it's not in the game of basketball and costs you. We had a player suspended for a game earlier this year, and it's not who we want to be, and I know Coach Pearl, it's not what they want to be. And I talked to my team even before that. I'm sure he did too, but sometimes players make decisions and you don't have full control over your players' decisions. But yeah, I make the point to our team, it doesn't matter how much trash is talked, how much dirty play you feel is being done to you. We're trying to win on the scoreboard. We're not trying to win a rock fight. We're not trying to win a backyard brawl. That has nothing to do with the scoreboard. If we're trying to win the game of basketball on the scoreboard, anything that has anything to do with giving the opponent an advantage, to free throws, ejection, it's not winning the game of basketball. I don't care to win a fight, a brawl, a trash-talking contest, none of that. If it brings a tee and it helps them score more points, we don't want it. When you lose and you go home, every single point matters. You look at how many 1 or 2 possession games are in the NCAA tournament. It comes down to there's no time for. I had it happen at Buffalo. We won 3 MAC tournament championships, and we're able to go to 3 NCAA tournaments in my 4 years there. The 1 year we didn't. We had a kid get a flagrant foul, and it cost us in that game. So I've had similar incidents, and you feel for the rest of the Auburn team and Coach Pearl, because I'm sure that they all didn't want that. And shoot, he was a good player for him. But you got to make better decisions when the season's on the line.